Now they lost it on the 40 acres on campus grounds. We gather round, discussing goals and dreams and life's adventures. The Texas Longhorns, they the talk of the town. High castles of the 40 acres, where we dive deep into the game day stories, from touchdowns to heartbreakers. We discuss it all, Texas Longhorns glory. There we gather round each Thursday night, talking sports, it's so alright. From football to basketball, baseball to softball, Tim Wayne and Harry's, we cover it all. Sports talk is our passion, our delight. Thursday night at 8:30, we unite. We discuss the scores, the plays, the teams you might. Let's dive into the game, let's ignite.
12 conference champions.
Yo, what's going on? It is your boys Longhorn Fan Battle Podcast. I'm your host, Harish. This is my boy Tim Wayne. Tim Wayne, how you doing, man? I don't know if you're on mute, but I can't hear you right now.
I'm not on mute, man. I'm not on mute. I told you that Florida defensive line ain't nothing to play with. And look what happened.
Well, to be fair, in the preseason, I did have us losing 2 games, right? Like my prediction was 10-2.
Right.
And one of those games was this game that I had us losing. But I also had us beating Ohio State in a close game, right? Yep. And I don't see – listen, there's a lot to unpack. I don't see us beating a lot of teams right now, the way this team is constructed. So we've got a lot to break down. We got a lot to talk about. People are being, media sources are calling people frauds. People are giving up on this team. His season is over. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why today there's cause for hope. And we'll talk about a lot of that.
Okay. Well, I'm ready to listen to it. So let's pay these bills and let's get to it.
Before we do that, fanbattlesports.com, where you can get the latest and greatest from the AFC South, which includes the 4-1 Jaguars and the 4-1 Indianapolis Colts.
Whoever saw you never thought you'd say that, would you?
I'll say it. Listen, every week we win a game moving forward, like the way this team is trajectory, right? We play the Cardinals this week. You're probably going to beat the Cardinals because I don't know what they're doing over there.
I don't even think Kyler's going to be playing this weekend, to be honest.
Even better. Better. I mean, It's not like they can snap him the ball anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So we got that going on, right? I think the Chargers will be the test next week, and we'll see that. That'll be a fun test. You go back to SoFi, where that debacle happened against the Rams, so you can sort of kind of get a chance to redeem that. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a lot of flaws in that Chargers team that I've seen, and that I actually think the Colts can expose. Mm-hmm. We'll see what happens. From there, you're just kind of playing with house money, right?
Right.
This team, let's just say over the next 4 weeks, this team goes 3-2 or 4-1.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best team in the AFC.
Yeah, I would agree with the way things are going with the Chiefs.
Yep.
And their debacles, because they can't seem to have their $100 million defensive tackle a quarterback that's already on the ground happen. And then, you got an ailing Joe Burrow. You've got a beat up Baltimore Ravens team. You've got the only real team that looks legit out there. I would say the 2 most legit looking teams are the Bills and the Colts. And the Bills just got, the Bills and the Patriots, that's a rivalry that's gone on that's always been a toss-up, right? Even with the whole Tom Brady situation and how he was dominant for years, they've always had a hard time. The Bills have always had a hard time, whether good or bad, with the Patriots, no matter if they had Tom Brady or not. And that game was a lot of people think that was Drake May's coming out party for real.
I can see it. Here's what I'll tell you about division games. Yeah, here's what I'll tell you about division games. Division games are and they're a little bit different in the NFL because they're spread throughout, right? Like in college,
Right.
this doesn't matter as much in college because they're all at the end, right?
Right.
But in division games, they're very different because you play each of your division opponents twice.
Right.
That's number one. Number two, because you play them twice, the teams that know these teams the best tend to expose those teams the most.
Right.
Here's the thing, though: are there other teams that don't know these teams the best? Right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Can they do something to mimic those division opponents? I'm going to take the Colts and the Bills for example. The Patriots exposed the Bills this last week.
Yep. The Colts are going to try to do the
Specifically,
exact same thing. Yeah.
specifically their defense, their run defense is not very good, right?
Right.
Well, lo and behold, what are the Colts really good at right now?
Running the
Blocking
ball and play action pass.
and running the ball and play action pass, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I look at that matchup head to head, I'm not concerned because especially if the Bills, if you don't have to play it now, the thing I don't know is how well does this Colts team play outside? I don't
Right.
know because they don't play outside, right? They haven't
No.
done that. And September is early. Teams get hot. Like things are really cool. It's a lot of fun. You don't really
Right.
know. I'm really curious to see how this team plays this month, right?
Mm.
Are they going
Right.
to have a stinker? Because they had a letdown, right? That's already happened. You
Right.
recover from the letdown. You blow out the Raiders. You do what you're supposed to do. What happens when you have a stinker, right? How do you come back from that? How do you adjust when teams have 8 weeks of film on Daniel Jones and they start to adjust? I'm very interested late October, early November how this team plays, and that'll kind of tell me what happens the rest of the year. But anyway. FanBattleSports.com, host of the Horseshoe Mob podcast, Josh Senior. Shout out to him, doing lots of great work there, putting articles up on Substack. He's doing some TikToks. He's on YouTube Shorts. He's all over the place. He's doing really really good work there. So if you're a Colts fan, Horseshoe Mob, check us out Tuesday nights 8:30 p.m. And then if you're a fan of all the other teams, just go visit them: Titans, Jags, and Texans. All doing great stuff there. So fanbattlesports.com. Russ, follow us on YouTube. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers. We're almost there. 80 subscribers. 79 subscribers, right? We're just trying to get to 100.
Yep.
We'll get to 100. We'll figure out 200, 250. Like we'll do all that stuff, right? So follow us on YouTube, like this video, comment on this video below, subscribe to the channel. We'd really appreciate it. Follow us on Twitter at LH Fan Battle. We are almost at 3,000 followers there. So down there at the bottom, follow us on Twitter. And then, of course, follow us on TikTok. Almost there.
TikTok has been crazy these last couple of days.
Yeah, it's been good. We've had some great engagement. Of course, I posted our top 12 last week, which we'll go through. I didn't post it this week. I've just been a little bit busy. And I posted lots of injury reports and stuff like that over the last couple of weeks. I'll post tonight's injury report probably.
Yeah, it's been updated.
Yeah, it's been updated.
Thank
Some
God.
good news. We might even talk about the injury report here because
it's been we need all the help we can get right now.
We'll probably talk about it here because we just received it probably about an hour ago. So
Yep.
we'll talk about that too. All right, Tim. While I pull up the injury report, Texas, of course, loses to Florida in the swamp, 29-21. I think there's a lot of ways we can go in this game, right? I do want to dive into a little bit more because these are the conference games, right? These are the games that you want to dive into. You put up a video on Sunday, I believe, or Monday, kind of like giving your reactions to the game. Following up on that, you put that out. Not the Colts. Texas got beat in all three phases. There's no other way to put it, right?
Yep.
Why don't you go and give a little bit of overview and a little bit of a deep dive on your thoughts overall?
So basically, Florida did exactly what I said that needed to be done the week prior. So I said that Thursday, not the week prior, the week of. I said the week of on offense, defense, and special teams, there needs to be at least one play made, right? Whether it be a touchdown, whether it be a crucial interception, and the special teams needs to show up in some kind of way. And they didn't hold up on any, to me, from a overall standpoint. Texas did not stand up, or Texas did not come out on top in any three of those phases, right? From an offensive standpoint, you cannot have your quarterback who had 37 rushing yards. And do you want to know what the rest of the team had as far as rushing? I know this because it's been ingrained in my brain since last Saturday. Do you know what the team's total, just off the top of your head? Don't look it up. Off the top of your head, do you know how many rushing yards the rest of the team had?
Somewhere in like the teens. It was like 16 or 17 yards.
It was 15 yards.
Yeah,
And
I knew it was something like that.
you cannot have that. That is not going to win you any SEC football games. I don't care if it's Florida. I don't care if it's Vanderbilt. I don't care if it's Arkansas. I don't care if it's Auburn. It's not going to win you any games. You have Mississippi State after Oklahoma. Mississippi State ain't no slouch.
Right.
Mississippi State has speed. Mississippi State has size up on both offense and defensive line. I don't care what their record looks like, because we walked into Florida thinking the same thing, like, oh, this should be easy. There's been a lot of, and again, I wasn't. I would say we weren't on that much, but a lot of people were like, oh, DJ Lagway's not playing good. The offense isn't running. They're not, like, they're banged up. They're not playing well. Like, this should be easy for Texas to do, and Texas got whooped. I don't care what the score says. I understand what was going on and how the game ended. Texas was getting whooped. There's no reason for your team, your opponent, to have what did he have, like 3 or 4 sacks on the year prior to playing Texas? Arch
Yeah, I
got
think
sacked
it was worse than that.
more than 5 times.
Six
I believe
times.
I believe it was six. Okay, well, 6 times.
Yep.
So he got sacked 6 times. There's no way that you can tell me that, even though he put up some great numbers, he put up some great numbers.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
There's no way that you can tell me that was good, that they were going to win the game from that. And I kind of understood what it looked like in the first quarter. It
Yeah.
was bad.
Yeah.
This is bad.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about it later. Sark is not helping. I don't this from a leadership standpoint, that is not what I want to hear from my leader. That's supposed to be, the buck is supposed to stop at Sark. And I don't want to hear the comments that he made, and we'll talk about that.
We'll
Now,
talk about that because I do want to dig into that.
the reception that we've gotten and that we've heard about, and I don't know if we're going to go into this later on, about how Arch should transfer because the pressure's too much, is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. It is. I get it. It is a top tier football base fan base. Especially, I would say, in the top three. Um, so I get it. There are high expectations, and when you have this type of talent that is supposed to be coming out, you're a 5-star, all this great stuff. That's all cool. What I need to see is how you come back after getting punched in your mouth, and this team needs to respond.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this right now before we even get any further into this. This game is a must-win game.
Oh yeah, for sure. Forget
You not,
about the season, right?
you not only have your season on the line, you got recruits on the line. Diabell's supposed to be there.
Derek Cooper's going to be there.
Diabell's already said that he's going to be at the game. Now, I don't expect anything to happen if Diabell, if Texas were to lose. I don't think Diabell is going to decommit. I don't think that's going to happen. But not only are people going to start looking at Arch as a whole, which they've already done and said he needs to transfer, which is, again, very dumb, but they're going to start looking at Sark. And I've already been kind of iffy with Sark, especially from a play calling standpoint. You cannot continue to give the same looks. You cannot continue to be this offensive guru and give a baseline gameplay, like calling of the game. You you were brought there because you know how to develop quarterbacks. You were brought there because of your offense. You were brought there because you were supposed to be the genius that was behind Nick Saban in his last couple of national championships and what he did with the quarterbacks that he had while he was there at Alabama. That needs to transition, and that it's not.
Yeah.
We have moments of it. I will say this: I bet a lot of people that were talking about how uh, Quinn needs to go, Quinn needs to transfer, Quinn needs to do. I bet they miss Quinn now. I, I bet you miss Quinn now.
It's funny, right? It, here's what I'll say, here's my take on the game. You're 3 plays from blowing out Florida.
Yeah,
That's how close that game was. 29-21. Actually, as poorly as Texas played,
they were able to.
you're really 3 plays from blowing that game open. Right? It's the Arch Manning ball to Emmett Mosley, who listen. I think Emmett Mosley is exactly what Arch needs: a tactical route runner that can get open on command. Right?
No matter
He
what.
doesn't have the speed of Matthew Golden. Right? That's okay. That's cool. But you just need a guy that can get open. You know who Emmett Mosley reminds me of? A young Michael Pittman Jr.
You do you know what the funny part of this whole thing is in talking about Emmett Mosley? Emmett Mosley was a 5-star recruit. And guess what the 5 stars did with Saturday? They showed up.
Well, for one team, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what matters.
No.
The 5 stars, the play call, the big defensive linemen, the quarterback,
Yeah.
everybody, the running backs that he I don't understand why they weren't running the ball earlier with that running back because he's a monster. And it showed.
Well, Jaden Ball. I talked about Jaden Ball last week, right? I said Jaden Ball is is an elite running back, and especially a guy who can. If you do not tackle in space, which we did poorly, right? Michael Taft, All-American safety, missed a block on the very first drive after over pursuing the fumble on the very first play of the game. That over pursuit that he has on the very first play of the game is unacceptable. You are a senior All-American safety. That's unacceptable. This defense did not play well last week, and I'll give
I
the
think
defense
if they get that, regardless if they put it in the end zone or kick a field goal, that play, right, sets the tone.
yeah. It sets the
And
tone. It also helps.
you whiffed on it. You whiffed on it, and it turned into a touchdown.
Yeah, it also eases the offense a little bit, right? They're not playing frantic. After that, the defense couldn't get another stop. They got to third down like 3 or 4 times and couldn't get a stop.
Well, they got the interception. They caused another fumble.
Right. They did some things, right? But
Right.
the problem is even after they did those things, they're 10 points behind.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
They, I cannot say how disappointed I am in that game. You let, especially on the defense, like you let that kid go stupid on you.
Yeah.
You let Ball literally run up and down the field on you. You got no stops. The offensive line is atrocious. They need to adjust. And again, I don't necessarily know
At this point, Tim, there's not much more you can adjust.
You're right. We're in week 6. This is
Yeah.
You are who you are. And,
Right.
and people are going to take advantage of. We just talked about this with the Colts about playing certain teams, playing getting footage on your team. People are going to reel in on that. We're going to run the ball and we just going to keep running it and keep running it and keep running it until something happens.
Right.
Outside of that, we only got one real series where one of our star players stepped up. That series in the second half where Anthony Hill Jr. just decided he wanted to take over the game. He
Oh,
did it.
Colin Simmons. Yeah, like it
Or,
was
I'm
like
sorry, I mean Colin
yeah,
Simmons.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Colin Simmons. Colin Simmons decides he wants to take over an entire series, and that's what he did. He
Did
wrecked
really
every
well.
single play from first to fourth down.
Yeah. Teresa,
And
what's
that
going
was,
on? Hope you're doing
I,
well.
I thought he, I'm thinking, okay, well, okay, now we're waking up.
Yeah.
No,
Didn't translate.
it
Real
didn't translate.
real quick, Teresa, what's up? Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining. Teresa, friend of the Horseshoe Mob, huge Colts fan. She's there every week commenting. So I really appreciate her jumping in. Thanks, Teresa.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things here, Tim. Like the offensive line is bad.
Very
And
bad.
and we'll talk about this in the Sark segment, but there's no and I said this in the offseason. Andre Kojo getting hurt was the worst thing that could have happened to Brandon Baker
Mm-hmm.
because there's no competition at the right tackle position.
Right.
The left tackle position is Connor Stroh. These guys just and you end up paying Nick Brooks at the end of the game, who's a freshman, right? True freshman.
Right.
Who,
Right.
don't get me wrong, I think Nick Brooks is going to be really good. But
Yeah, but
there's two things about
I don't think he wasn't expecting to go in the game.
exactly. There's two things about Nick Brooks. He wasn't expecting to go in the game, number one. And Nick Brooks is a tackle, not a guard.
Right. Not a guard. Right.
And so you put him in that environment, and he's still a freshman. He's not really meant to play this year. He was gonna redshirt, right? And now you're putting him in a situation it's like, hey, go in the swamp. We're down 10-0. Connor Stroh can't block. It's on you. Go for it, right? And you're kind of like playing, and I just don't understand. I blame two people on this. I think a lot of coaches on the offensive staff need to be put like feet to the fire.
Yeah.
Right? Kyle Flood, unacceptable. Kyle Flood probably needs to be the top of that list. You are the highest paid, one of the highest paid coordinators in the country.
Yep.
And you're also the offensive line coach. How did you look at this offensive line this offseason, and how did you dupe us into thinking that this offensive line was good? And not even try to address it in the portal. Dude, Tim, there was a right tackle 15 minutes from my house at Texas State, right? 15 minutes down the road. Guess where he's playing this year? Oregon.
Oregon. Oh, good God.
Starting at Oregon, the right tackle from Texas State last year. We couldn't go get that guy. There's another guy that Oregon got that we didn't want to pay a few more bucks to, and so he went to Oregon.
Yeah.
DeCorian Moore, you could have. DeCorian Moore wanted to come to Texas. DeCorian Moore was literally sitting right there wanting to come to Texas. The wide receiver that just dog walked you in his own house as a true freshman, Dallas Wilson. I remember the day Dallas Wilson decommitted from Oregon. Texas could have got him. They didn't even offer him. They thought they had no shot. Like I get wanting to pay your own, but at some point, like when we talk about the transfer portal, when we talk about NIL, you've got to make meaningful.
It's funny that you say that because like a DeCorian Moore, like the right tackle that was at Texas, a lot of these guys are the best at their position, and they're not paying a little more to outbid their suitors.
Yeah.
You got DeCorian Moore going to Oregon. What does Oregon look like right now? Oregon looks like they could win the Big Ten. Oregon looks like
you win the whole thing.
In my opinion, that's Ohio State's biggest threat, and Ohio State's going to have a problem with because Ohio State traditionally does not do well with mobile quarterbacks.
Right.
Quarterbacks that can throw, move around in the pocket, quarterbacks that can make things happen, quarterbacks that can improvise. Historically, they have had issues with them. Dude, whether it's Michael Penix at Indiana to Drew Aller when he decided that he wanted to run around last year. What's my man that said in Michigan right now? the not the starting quarterback because he's been injured. God, he was on the championship team.
At Michigan,
Yes,
JJ McCarthy.
JJ McCarthy. JJ
Oh,
McCarthy wasn't a a a scrambler, but he can move. He can scoop.
yeah.
And
Guy who can get out of the
Ohio
pocket.
State.
Yeah,
He gave Ohio State problems. You like I don't know, dude. Listen, they've got to do something. You're 1,000% correct. You cannot have anybody. You can't you don't have anybody to blame but yourself. And you have to look at the top. You have to start from the top. It has to be the offensive coordinators. It has to be position coaches. It has to be your play callers, whether on offense or defense. It's got to be a number. You've got to be able to bring this team back in it. You have to get them folks. Oklahoma legitimately feels like they believe that Texas is done. They like if you look at what the
yeah,
fan base is saying, they're like, this should be a walk in the park. They can't run. They can barely throw. They don't have a great offensive line. They
yeah.
like they're banged up in the secondary. Like you what this is perfect.
You know
And
what Oklahoma is describing though?
now that Mateer has been ruled as probable to come back, now they think, oh, we got our quarterback back too, even though he's got screws in his hand 2 weeks after surgery. They believe that they have a shot because they believe that their quarterback is going to be playing.
Yeah.
Now, if their quarterback gets knocked out the game over. Because that quarterback that they have backing up Mateer is trash. He's not ready.
I
He's
don't
a deer
even
in
think,
the head.
I know I said like after week one, I thought after the Michigan game, I thought Mateer looked good. I mean, I watched that Auburn game, right? I remember watching that, and I was thinking this guy's okay. And we think that Texas's running game is bad.
Is John Mateer is Mateer playing better than Arch right now? In my opinion, he is. Outside of the injury, he is.
Maybe by
He
a little
is. No, he is.
They
There's
are
no
they are statistically the same quarterback. You
it
you
don't
you do realize that, right?
it
As bad
doesn't
as
matter.
Arch is
He's
playing,
outside of the injury, he's not putting balls in the dirt. He's not missing checkdowns. He's not doing any of that shit, dog. It's not
but he's
about it.
also overthrowing balls, causing interceptions. He's overthrowing receivers and underthrowing receivers and throwing receivers way off the sidelines. Like
The
he's
sideline is. I would rather Arch put a ball in the stands
sure
than to put a ball in the dirt, and
that's
that is what that is totality. San
sure
Diego State he did it. Sam Houston he did it. Ohio State he did it
yeah
and these aren't regular. These are pivotal moments that
sure.
this is happening. Now, he made some amazing throws on Saturday. Let me not pile on Arch.
We'll talk about Arch here in a second because I actually thought Arch played really well on Saturday overall.
I honestly right now I think. Oops, sorry, I hit the mute button. Right now, I think Mateer is outside of the injury is playing as a better quarterback than Arch is.
But should he be? He should
No.
be. The dude's played 30 games before
Oh
this.
well, yeah, well, okay. In
Well,
that
he should
aspect,
be playing better. To
yeah, for
me,
sure.
like if I look at their ceilings, right? I think John Mateer's hit his ceiling. He's not getting any better than this.
We thought. So what's Arch feeling right now?
Arch's ceiling, you don't think he can get any better than he's playing today? He's only played 6 games. So are you saying over the next 2 years he's not gonna get better than Mateer?
I I I hope so.
You
I
hope
truly hope so. I'm not. I'm listen. I'm not going to sit up here and bash Arch, but from what the tape is showing, even there's been worse quarterbacks than Arch that have had little to no experience come in at Texas and do better than what he's doing right now.
I get what you're saying. At the same token,
I'm not
I
looking at
still see
wins.
moments of Arch that you can look at the touchdown throw he throws to Ryan Wingo again, where the running back blows another block. He avoids the block, steps up into the pocket, and throws that beamer to Ryan Wingo for a touchdown.
Yeah, it was beautiful. That was probably the best throw of his career so far.
So that shows that there's potential, right? I think some of those like interceptions were bad, but you're put in a position at that point where Arch is the only guy that's playing. He gained 300 of 375 yards of Texas's offense on Saturday.
Yeah, he definitely played hero ball. And listen,
And he had to. He had no option but to play hero ball.
that also goes to a lot of these receivers are not getting the type of separation that they want. I don't understand where the speed is that we've seen before.
We don't have any speed. That's where it is. It doesn't exist. Sark went to these big receivers, right? Ryan Wingo is not as fast as Xavier Worthy. Ryan Wingo.
Oh no. But Xavier Worthy is a special type of speed.
Ryan Wingo's not even a 4.4 guy. He's not even a 4.5 guy.
Xavier Worthy is a special type of speed. Isaiah Bonds is a special type of speed. Gosh, I can't even
Matthew
think.
Golden is a 4.3 guy too.
Matthew Golden, yeah, Matthew Golden.
But the thing is, Ryan Wingo's not even 4.4. Like I don't think Ryan Wingo can run a 4.4 today. Straight line speed. That's a problem. Ryan Wingo's bigger, but also the problem with Ryan Wingo couldn't catch a flower right now if I try to throw him one. And I think it's forget about speed right now, right? What I want from these wide receivers, I would rather take a Parker Livingston right now because at least that dude catches the ball even though somebody tries to take his knees from under him, which I thought was a penalty by the way.
Also 6'4".
I thought that was a penalty by the way because I thought there was something about like leaning your head into any part of your body with the crowning your head into any part of your body to protect the player. Maybe I was crazy, but I thought that was supposed to be a penalty. Not targeting, but I thought there was some sort of penalty that was like you can't name between the chest.
It's a target.
Yeah.
It's between the really where the start of your pads are, your sternum, to the crown of your helmet. They don't want you
correct
anywhere with the crown.
But when you make contact with the other player, you're also not supposed to hit within a certain. Maybe that's just the quarterback.
Yeah, it's that target zone, the sternum to the crown of the helmet. They don't want
you went straight into his knee. And also, I will say, people want to give Arch crap for that ball that he threw. If Parker Livingston doesn't try to make a one-handed catch on that ball and just go up with
it's an interception.
No. If he tries to go up with two hands instead of one, because his initial catch of that ball was with two hands.
Oh yeah, he would have probably broke his neck.
He wouldn't have gotten hit.
You don't think he would have gotten hit if he goes up for two?
No, because here's the thing: because he bobbles the ball, right? He has to go up and catch, or he tries to catch it with one hand at first and then goes back up with two because the hand ends up getting bobbled, which is why there's the extra few seconds that the safety has to come down on him.
Right.
Initially, if he goes up with both hands like he started to do and they took a hand away, I don't think he gets hit because he has a moment to actually potentially see the guy coming and maybe duck or maybe spin, do something. But he's not airborne by the time he comes up with the ball.
I think if he goes up with two hands and he gets hit like that, he gets flipped over. It could potentially.
Either way, I think Arch puts him in a bad spot. But when I replayed it in slow motion, and I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you in slow motion. But my first initial reaction watching it in slow motion was he could have went up with two hands, maybe gotten hit, but I don't think he would have gotten hit in the legs. He might have gotten hit in chest area by the time if he comes down with two hands on his feet. Could he have dropped the ball? I don't know, but either way, it's a hell of a catch, right? The other thing, the one thing I will say about Arch, and we'll move on. That last drive, there's two things that Arch needs to work on. He needs to work on getting the ball out earlier because there are reads down the field that he's not making still. He's still not seeing the field. That
He's
entire
staring at
last that
receivers.
entire last drive, the seam was wide open at least 3 times. And I think the announcer kept saying it. There's a guy wide open in the seam. There's a guy wide open. He's not seeing it. There's a guy wide open in the seam. And he's just not seeing it. So I do also want to go back and talk to about and we'll talk about this in the Athletic article.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know what Texas fans want. I don't know what Texas fans want. I'll just leave it at that for right now. We'll talk about that here in a second. Let's talk about our top 12. Real quick, obviously lots of movement here this week.
Yep.
So we'll go through these quickly, but you've got let me see. Nope. Let me see. There we go. And I'll make it a little bit bigger for us here. So you've got Miami number 1, Oregon 2, Ohio State 3, Ole Miss 4. I think our top 5 pretty much stay the same, just a little bit of slightly different order.
Yeah.
You got A&M at 5, or Oklahoma at 6, and Alabama at 7.
Yep.
I have Texas Tech at 6.
Okay.
I think Texas Tech is the best team in the Big 12.
They are.
And I think Texas Tech and A&M are very, very similar in the way that they're constructed. The only difference between A&M and Tech is maybe quarterback. I think they have 2 different styles of quarterbacks.
They do. Yep.
But both have good running games. Both have good weapons on the outside. I think Texas Tech's tight end is better. And I think A&M's defensive line is better. I think Tech has a better linebacking core. I really like I can't remember his name. I was actually talking about him the other day in the Colts podcast, who or a Colts space on who we could draft, and I really liked him as an option. But I think A&M and Tech are really similar. You have Tech at 8. Indiana, Oregon, going to be a top 5 matchup this week.
That's going to be great. That's going to be a good game.
I
think if Oregon pulls that off and they blow out Indiana, I think they're the number 1 team.
I think they're already the number 1 team.
Yeah, of course you got them ranked at number 1.
But I think they're already the best team. They have the best win in the country. Nobody has a better win than them right now.
No, yeah.
Now, obviously, Penn State losing to UCLA maybe devalues that win quite a bit, but at that time that was the best win of the year, with Ohio State having the second best win, right?
Right.
Which kind of devalues both of them. I have Georgia Tech at 10, and I just feel like nobody's talking about Georgia Tech.
Well, we talk about Georgia Tech because we actually watch ACC football.
Yeah, I really like this Georgia Tech team. This is one of those teams where this is a veteran team.
Yep.
And because it's a veteran team, they're actually pretty good.
If they are able to win the ACC, they're going to give somebody hell.
Is it basically Miami, Georgia Tech at this point?
Yeah. And I think, unless something happens within their schedule and Georgia Tech loses,
yeah,
they're going to run somebody out of the gym. I would hate to see a bowl game where Texas had to play against Georgia, whether it's in a college football playoff or whether it's in a regular bowl game. I would hate to see that because they're going to get ran into the ground. That Texas defense will get ran into the ground. Hayes King, I don't know what his health is going to look like at the end of the season, but if he is 100% healthy, he is going to give somebody hell. Don't be surprised if they get into the playoff and they upset somebody. Or the game is extremely close and they have an opportunity to go and score and win the game. Do not be surprised at that.
I like Georgia Tech. I like them a lot. And then I have Tennessee at 11. I don't know what Tennessee is, but I do know that they can compete with the best teams in the country because they want good, right?
Tennessee and Texas are the exact same team to me. When they want to turn it on, they can. Whether it's offense or defense.
Who?
Tennessee and Texas.
They're not the same team. Texas hasn't turned it on offensively all year.
I said when they want to.
But how do we know when they
We,
want to? Because they haven't
we
done it.
well, we've seen them. Well, outside of this Florida game, we seen them put it on. Again, it was hero ball. We didn't like the outcome of it, but Arch did what he could. Now, I as much as I can criticize him, I can give him praise too. Did he play hero ball? Yeah. Did I like the fact that he was playing hero ball? No, but I know for a fact that he was able to put up numbers. Now, no, the numbers don't look good. He was only 16 of 29, but he was the only real offensive output. Tennessee can do that too when they want to.
Tennessee averages 40 points a game.
Never mind.
Texas averages like 4.
20.
Yeah, like
I don't even
compared,
think it's 20.
and,
Is
and,
it? Are
and
they
some of that
averaging
is,
20?
and some of that is the defense probably putting up some points, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tennessee averages. I think I want to say it's like 35 or 40 points a game.
DeAndre Moore had 3 catches.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is so
Tennessee
frustrating.
definitely averages 40 points a game. They put up 45 on Syracuse, 72 on ETSU. They put up 41 on Georgia in a loss, right? 56
Right.
UAB. They put up 41 on Tennessee on Mississippi State 2 weeks ago. They average 40 points a game. Like
You know what's crazy?
Texas is nowhere close to Tennessee.
You know what's crazy about this whole situation? And I was watching Pat McAfee, was that yesterday when they had Kirk Herbstreit on?
Mm-hmm.
And Kirk Herbstreit was like, I don't ever want to talk about benching a quarterback, especially at a big school. But he said this, and this stuck out to me because nobody else has said this. He said Matthew Caldwell comes into the game, throws one pass, and puts it on a fucking rope. And I
Yeah.
said, "Oh shit!" I said, "Oh shit!" Please don't start that. Please don't start that.
Right.
Because that's the last thing that this school needs. That's the last thing that this fan base needs is for people to start talking about the backup quarterback. Because this is the exact same thing that we went through last year. Now, I called for Lacey early in the season. I just want to see where he's at.
You called for somebody. You didn't just say, you said anybody. You didn't just say KJ Lacey. You said, show me anybody different than Archman. So you're just as guilty as anybody else making these
Doug,
You're
but
just as
that was at one time. Doug,
You're just as guilty.
Doug, it's so Doug. Well, Doug, when Arch threw that pass, to DeAndre Moore and he threw it behind him and it just fell in the dirt and it was 3rd and 5 and DeAndre Moore was completely open and that could have won us the game because they were marching down the field. They were on the opponent 50 or they were on the opponent 45 and it was 3rd and 5 and
Yep.
he put the ball in the dirt and I said, oh fuck. At that point, yes, I did want to see somebody different because like this is I'm not a quarterback, bro, but I'm sure even I could have thrown it in front of DeAndre Moore. And I know for a fact I probably can't throw more than 50 yards, but I know for a fact that I probably could have thrown that ball at least 6 yards in front of DeAndre Moore so he can go and get the ball. He gets that ball, he takes it to the house, or he could make something shake. Now you're in field goal range. You still have at least 3-4 minutes to go in the game. You still have an opportunity to win the game. You have 2 timeouts. You have an opportunity to win this game. And
You're talking about Ohio State, right?
yes.
Yeah.
And I understand it's the first game. I get that. But at that point in time, I don't care if you can't make, and I don't know about if everybody knows this, but they always judge quarterbacks on a 10 and out. If you can throw a 10 and out, you can make it in the NFL. You can at least, you could be a journeyman, right? You can at least make that.
Yeah.
He couldn't do that.
Yeah.
He couldn't do it.
Yep.
And
I get it. I get it. Here's the other thing, and I'll say this about the Texas fan base. We did the same thing with Quinn last year. The same guy that we wanted to replace Quinn Ewers to go to the national title and win a title with We're
My
we,
only
we're wanting to put Matthew Caldwell in for.
The only reason why I even called for anything last year with Quinn is because Quinn was hurt.
That's
If you're
I
hurt,
get it.
if you're hurt, it's one thing if you're injured. If you are hurt, which he clearly was, you need to get you need to get healthy. And by getting healthy, you standing out there being a dud, you standing out there with a messed up ankle, you standing out there with a bum shoulder, you standing out there and your sternum has been cracked. You don't need to be out there. You
Yeah.
need to go get healthy.
Yeah.
And Quinn played injured, not hurt, injured.
For three
There's a
seasons.
difference.
For
There's a
three seasons.
it's so pronounced. It's like you cannot do that. Is it is it selfish? Yes. Is it reasonable? Yeah. I believe that we had the talent enough last year to have seen Quinn sit out multiple games.
Oh, for sure.
I think that game
He could
against
have sat
Florida.
all the way out to, and he could have sat 6 weeks and we would have won every game.
I think I truly believe that. I
I think so
truly
too.
believe with the roster that we had last year, we could have afforded him to get healthy. He
For
didn't
sure.
do that. I think that he got healthy because they were able to put up enough points to make him go sit down a little bit, you know. But still, that's the only reason why I called for Quinn to go sit down somewhere
Right.
is because that dude was literally like, bro, that
Well,
was his whole knock. That's
well,
been
I
his
will,
that's been his whole knock on his entire career.
yeah.
You get your availability. You got cracked against Alabama, which should have been a penalty, but it wasn't because he got drove into the ground. You like it wasn't like he was a bad player. He was not a bad player. Of course he overthrew a lot of balls. He put
Yeah.
a lot of air under a lot of balls when he should have been putting those balls on ropes. Probably would have had way more touchdowns, and it probably would have been, probably a leader in college football as far as deep balls thrown because he had a lot of opportunities to go deep.
I think where
But he,
I wasn't trying to call you out, right? But where I was going with that is how annoying this fan base can get sometimes.
oh,
Because this is Tim, this is the same fan base in Vince Young's year 3. You remember Vince Young in year 3?
yeah,
Was that 03 where he
Mhm.
goes to Red River and they don't put up any points on offense?
It was like 14-6.
Yeah, it was like 16-13 or something like that.
Yeah, something stupid. Yeah,
Right. Remember what they wanted to do with Vince Young? They wanted
Yeah.
they wanted Mac Brown to move Vince Young to freaking wide receiver.
that was dumb. Well,
And then the next week they go put up a dud against Nebraska, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah,
They
but
beat
those are
Nebraska.
two-
That's disgusting.
those. To be fair, Oklahoma's defense that year was really good.
No, I get it. But I
They were
think it
really
goes
good.
back to the fan
They're,
base.
they're really good. This Florida team is historically bad.
Yes, I get it. I get it.
I get it. I get it. It's the swamp. Again, I talked about that crowd, how crazy that crowd is going to be, how close that crowd is going to be. It's going to be over 102,000 people. It's one of the hardest stadiums to play in on a Saturday in the middle of this, bro.
Middle of the day. And
In the middle of the
it
day.
was raining, it was humid, it
Raining.
was all the things. I get it.
It's everything that worked in Florida's favor.
Yeah,
And it did. It worked. It worked in Florida's favor.
fair enough.
So, listen.
I still think there is a fan base, and I'm going to say it. I think there's a fan base overreaction to Arch Manning. Now, who created this overreaction? We can debate all night, right? Could be the national media, could be the local media, could be the coaches, could be the
Speaking of that,
players themselves.
let's get to the New York Times.
It could be that glasses company, like it could be Red Bull. Like we could argue about who that is whenever we want or however we want.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, and where we are today, we now know Arch Manning is human. And we even said at the beginning of the year, he might throw a couple of duds.
I got listen. I'm gonna say this to the fan base. I'm gonna say this. Hate to interrupt you, but Arch ain't going nowhere. I
He's
hate to
not.
break it to the
He's get
media.
2 years.
He ain't going nowhere. He's not transferring. What you have
Where would he transfer to,
every
Tim?
every major every major every major outlet, sports outlet that I've come across, whether it's Fox, whether it's On Three, whether it's 247, whether it's ESPN, somebody has called that Arch needs to transfer,
But
and
these are
that's
the same people that crowned him a Heisman Trophy winner 8 weeks
this is
ago.
now.
This is why
Listen,
you don't listen to the national
it's the
media.
it's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Oh, he's gonna go and play. He needs to go play where there's not any commotion. It doesn't matter where he goes. The name on the back of the jersey does not change. The color can change. The conference can change. The state can change. It don't matter. He is going to get this for the rest of his life simply because of the last name on his jersey and the last name on the jersey and the position he plays. He plays in he's going to be under a microscope until this man retires.
Right.
Literally. He's like that's just what it is. It
And
doesn't
guess
matter
what?
if he plays at it doesn't matter if he plays at the University of Texas. It don't matter if he plays at Stanford.
Yep.
His last name is Manning. His two uncles are some of the most visible sports people you can possibly see in the sports entertainment, in sports entertainment right now. And I say sports entertainment because they're in movies, they're on podcasts. Oh, on Monday Night Football, do you know what they have? The Manning Cast, which is super popular because they get the top players that are not playing that week or not playing that day on their channel,
And they're
and
funny.
it gets just as much
Uh,
ratings as the it gets just as much ratings as an actual ESPN broadcasted production, if
yep.
not more at times. They're always going viral for something.
And guess what? We're gonna
It's
do this all. We're gonna do this all over again in 3 years, Tim. Marshall Manning is about to be a freshman in college in 3 years. Peyton's son. We're gonna do this all over again. And guess
and if
what?
he ends up
He
and if he
might
ends up
come
at
to
Tennessee,
Texas. He
but
might
if he
come
also,
to Texas.
and if he ends up at Tennessee, it's gonna be even worse because
Well,
now
yeah, because your dad went to Tennessee.
thank you. And what are
Your
they gonna
dad is
expect?
the best quarterback to ever step foot on our stadium.
What are they going to expect for young that young man to come in and do if he goes to
Start as
Tennessee?
a freshman, just like your dad did, and lead
Right.
us to a national championship, which your dad could not do. The
That
very least, go do something your dad couldn't do. Go beat Florida.
that is going to be
Do people forget? And of course, I know this because I had to live through it. Peyton Manning never beat Florida, dude. He's 0-4 against Florida. He's 0-4 against Florida in his entire career. Never beat Florida.
that's
Eli
insane.
is 2-0 against Florida. And so, listen, Arch is going to go through it. His cousin's going to go through it. Someday, 30, 40, 50 years from now, their kids are going to go through it. You're it's just going to keep on carrying and carrying and
It's going
carrying.
to keep on
Why?
going
Because yeah,
as long as they're playing football, that
yeah,
name is going to hold true.
yeah.
So to be fair, the media that is the dumbest thing. That kid is not going anywhere. I think and it's I hate it, but it's almost at the this is to the point to where Sark has to go down with the ship. It's the same thing with Quinn now. You have to go down with the ship because you can't put somebody else in there. I mean,
No,
you could, but you're just adding more fuel to the fire.
you're not
You're
benching a Manning, dude. I'm sorry.
you're
Arch is
adding.
not getting benched this year. He's not going to, and nor should he. The thing
I
is,
don't think
you
I don't
have to
think
let
he'll
him
get
learn.
benched.
Man.
It just I don't know.
You have to let him learn. This season's a dud as it is, right? Like you at this point, you got nothing to lose but let him learn.
They don't win this game on Saturday. It's
It's not going to be
to me,
fun.
to me, the season's over. If you don't win Saturday,
No,
it's
yeah,
over.
it's over. Somebody said something I thought was really interesting. I think Steve Sarkisian is now really finding out what it's like to be the head coach of the Texas football program.
Dude, did we forget that he had 5 losses his first season?
but nothing compares to what you're figuring out like today. Like the last 2 years were great, right? The honeymoon phase was awesome. Like you went through the last 4 years. These you're now in the dog days of your Texas tenure, right? If the ship goes, if you lose on Saturday, this is going to feel way worse than going 5-7 year one. This is going to be way worse than going 5-7 year.
Fair, to be fair, has first off, Texas was number one preseason number one for the first time.
It doesn't matter.
Hold on, because it does matter from a Sark's from a fan from a casual fan, it does matter because you started out at number one, right? You lost to the defending national champion. Okay, you lost to the defending national champion. You get 3-4 weeks where in there, you get the bye week. So you get 3-4 weeks to really kind of tighten up the screws. From a casuals fan, oh yeah, and again, these are people, casual fans, they're not watching it, they're not going back and watching all 22 film. They're not doing this. They're either watching the game or watching the scoreboard on their phone. They're not in depth. They're not watching. Oh, well, why is Matthew Gold or not Matthew Gold? Why is DeAndre Moore running this? Why are they not running this? Why are they? They're not doing that. They don't know the third running back on the depth chart. They don't know this. I will say, and this is just me. A lot of Texas fans are casual fans.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They're fans because it's the brand, the glitz and look at the stadium that we have here. We don't even know who's they're playing. But it's not a major team. And look at there's holes in the you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
These are fair weather fans that are doing this, that are causing the most commotion.
Sure.
To go from preseason number one to losing to Florida
and being unranked,
going into Red River? No. And if they lose, oh, it's going to be a problem. And you're going to hear from the casual
already a problem.
More.
It's already a problem to some people.
You're going to hear from the casual fan. My thing is for that Florida game is that you could have done more and you left a lot on the table.
Again, I go back to saying you're 3 plays away from blowing that game wide open. If Trey Wisner doesn't miss the block on the Arch Manning wide open touchdown pass to Emmett Mosley, that's a 75-yard touchdown pass. The little trick play, as much as you want to say you hate the trick play,
he overthrew him.
Ryan Wingo overthrows about like 5 yards. Yeah. Guess who's wide open? Jack Andrews. So you're two. That's 2 plays right there. The fumble is maybe 3 or 7 points. That's another 3 to 7 points, right? So that's 20 points minimum or 17 points minimum that flips that game over on its face, right?
Yeah.
And guess what Florida's not doing? Florida's not making mistakes. DJ Lagway didn't turn the ball over. DJ Lagway was excellent.
I think he only threw less than 30 passes. Both of them threw less than 30 passes. Yeah. I want to say DJ Lagway completed passes in the 80s. His pass percentage was in the 80s, if I'm not mistaken.
DJ Lagway, I'm pulling it up right now. DJ Lagway went
21 for 28.
Yeah.
Bro.
70%.
That's what you need to make it in the NFL. Yeah. You need to throw. And again, mind you.
You know how he did it though, Tim?
Huh?
You know how he did it? Short passes. RPOs. They ran RPO. This is what we need to be doing. I said it last week. You have to run RPOs.
It's funny that you mentioned that, Harish. In order to run an RPO, your run has to be effective. The run was not effective. It has not been a factor since game 1.
Yeah, that's true.
Who do we have running the ball in game 1? CJ Baxter. What happened to him? Injured.
What do you think CJ Baxter played the game 1?
He played.
It was Trey Wisner.
He didn't play a lot.
But it was Trey Wisner who played and got hurt. And
that too. and he messed up his hamstring again. Same game.
Actually, he didn't. He said he's on. He's not even listed on the depth chart and the injury report anymore. So I don't know
I
what
saw,
happened.
I saw him grab that hamstring once he
Couple
scored that
times.
touchdown. Huh?
Oh, I was talking about Saturday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I saw him grab for his hamstring when he
Right.
scored that touchdown.
He's not listed on the injury report.
Oh well, that's great.
Literally the one that just actually I'll check it right. Literally the one that just came out an hour ago.
The
He's
hour
not
before
on
the
the
show.
injury. He's not on the injury report.
Okay,
So I don't know if that was just like a cramp or what, but he's not on the injury report.
thank God. I'm glad that I'm thankful that that was a cramp and not a
As a
hamstring.
matter of fact, the only guy on the injury report, we'll talk about it real quick. Malik Muhammad, injury report, probable. Parker Livingstone, obviously on the injury report. Parker Livingston on the injury report, probable. So both of those guys are probable. And then CJ Baxter, obviously doubtful. Those are the only three guys listed on the injury report this week. So, all right, Tim, we got to move on. We're well over. We're over an hour.
Real quick. And what's wrong with Muhammad?
No, we don't know. We have no idea. Don't
We
know.
needed him Saturday.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's why they paid him the big bucks on Saturday.
Right.
So, all right, Tim, let's talk about the Red River Shootout. I do want to talk about the Arch Manning article. We'll talk about that next week
Yeah.
because that's going to be something that lingers throughout the rest of the season.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be yeah.
I don't even know what to think about this game at this point. I think both. I think the defense we saw for Texas was a fluke. Like they're not going to have another bad game like that. At
They
least
better not.
I don't anticipate that they will.
They better
Um,
not.
I think both of these offenses for both teams are bad. I don't care if Mateer plays or not. I think that's a bad offense. Their running game might be worse than Texas's running game. They average. I think Texas averages like 3 yards a carry. I think Oklahoma's like 2.6. It's not very good. It's
Yeah.
it's bad. They do have a more experienced quarterback. He'll take that. What are your overall thoughts on this game?
I'm gonna say this, and I'm reaching, but there needs to be a Bo Davis moment. Somebody has got to have a Bo Davis moment. The infamous Bo Davis moment
Yeah.
where Bo Davis went off on a team
Yep.
on a ride back. I think it was I can't remember who they lost to. Maybe it was Alabama.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was the no. It was the Iowa State game.
Iowa State. There we go. The
Yep.
ride back from that Iowa State game, Bo Davis goes crazy. And he goes crazy on the bus. And you could hear a pin drop. I need somebody on that coaching staff or one of the players to really talk to this defense, to really talk to this offense. Their season is on the line right now. This is 3rd and 8. This is
Yeah.
3rd and long. You cannot you cannot afford to get ran out of the gym the way you did.
Yeah.
Because if you lose the way that you lost last week, even if you were to run the table, people are going to remember those 3 games. They're going to remember the Ohio State game. They're going to remember the Oklahoma game. They're going to remember the Florida game. And they're going to be like, nah. Because if you run up against another 3-loss team, let's say it is Oklahoma, because Oklahoma's schedule is nasty.
They're gonna lose. They're gonna lose.
Oklahoma's schedule is not for the weak.
Yeah.
It is not for the weak. They have one of the toughest schedules in the SEC, and it starts this weekend, right? So you gotta pick your nuts up. This is whoever gets the early jump, whoever has the momentum in this game, and it starts as soon as that ball gets kicked off. whoever turns the ball over, whoever makes the first touchdown, whoever established dominance first is going to win this game.
Right. No, I would agree because
There's
the
no
other
there's
team is
no
not.
oh well, if so, no, the first drive, whoever scores first, whoever turns the ball over first, is going to win this game. It don't matter if it's Oklahoma. It don't matter if it's Texas. If Arch throws an interception, gets blown up while he's on a return for a pick six, ball game. In my opinion, ball game.
Okay.
The momentum switches.
Yeah, and it switches
All they
fast
have
in
to
this
all
game.
they have to do is to continue. They don't even have to really put much points on the board. I'm
Yeah.
going to say this. I'm going to hope that Texas finds the balls and shows up on Saturday. I'm going to say Texas wins.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say Texas wins 24-20.
Dang, that's high.
I'm saying, but we know that they can get to 20, right?
Do we know? Do we know they can get to 20, Tim? Do we really know though?
I'm
Do
going to
we
say
really know?
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. I don't think John Mateer is healthy enough.
No, I think John Mature is
I
playing with a
think
broken
what
thumb.
they're going to do with John Mateer, and I know any college football player, any semi-pro football player, any former scout team, NFL, they're going to shoot him up. They're going to send him out there with the hopes that he can stay, doped up enough to hold that ball. And unless he gets hit, he's going to stay in that game. Now, if he gets hit, he gets banged up. First thing you do when you get hit is you brace your fall with your hands.
Yep.
John Mateer has screws in his hand,
It's on his thumb of
on
his
his throwing hand of
his
all
thumb.
places. It's
Right.
on his throwing hand.
Yeah.
He's 2 weeks out of surgery.
Yep.
So yeah, he's not a broken thumb. Any broken bone.
Don't you have to like clutch the ball like with your thumb?
You
Yeah.
have first, yeah. When you
Yeah.
grip a ball,
Yep.
you grip the ball with your thumb being the main focus of how you. First off, when you throw a ball, your thumb is the catalyst of
To
the
the
ball.
release point. Yeah.
You grip the ball with your thumb. So I don't know how he's going to do that 2 weeks out,
Yeah.
other than him getting shot up.
If you're the Texas defense,
You hit him. I don't. And I'm
I was just throwing it out there, right?
I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't give a fuck how bad you hit him. You hit him, you take the penalty. You knock him out. You have to.
Is there a way? Is there a conversation happening about where you hit him, or like, hey, you aim for the ball and
No.
you put a helmet straight first? Or
Defensive line need to be swatting.
Yeah.
They need to swat at the ball.
Yep.
Because again,
The
when
grip.
you hit that ball, where does the pressure come? It comes through here and it goes down. So all of this is what's going to be affected. This little meaty area,
Yeah.
right? Depending on where he broke his thumb, he won't feel it here, but he'll feel it on that backside. If especially if they entered through this area, which I think they did, they're gonna, he's got broken bones. So I'm gonna assume this is the closest way to get to that broken bone. So you hit here, he's gonna feel it here. If they, again, he's gonna be doped up. They're gonna numb this up. This is all gonna be numbed up. He ain't gonna feel nothing. But you got to continue to hit it because eventually that's gonna wear off. Okay.
Yeah.
You need to get him on the ground because what do you do when you go to the ground? You brace with what? Your hands. If he doesn't brace with his hands, he's going to hit his shoulders. He's going to bump his head. He's going to try to do everything that he can to torque. He's going to try everything in his power
All on
to
his
not
back.
fall directly, because it's the easiest way to go down. That's the first thing you do is you brace. You've got to get him on the ground any way you can. If it's me, if I'm a coach, I don't give a damn what you do. Don't get yourself thrown out the game. But if it's second and long, and if it's second and 15, take the penalty.
Right.
Take the penalty. Hit him. Not saying take his head off. I'm just saying hit him to where he has to go on the ground.
Gotcha.
That's what to me is it nasty play? Yes, it's nasty work. I also seen Danny Stutzman launch himself into Quinn Ewers to take him out of the game.
Well, he did it to Jatavian Sanders too. So
Yeah, he did it. Yeah, he took Jasavian Sanders out the game.
yep,
He
that
launched
changed
himself.
the dynamic of that game too.
Yeah.
So, but
So
yeah, I agree. I think that's what you're gonna have to do. I think offensively, you cannot these long developing routes that you want Archer to throw because that's his strength. You can't do it.
bro, you
There's just,
can
the offensive line is just not. Now you could do maybe a few of them, right? But you better make a few and far between because this offensive line cannot.
that's what was tripping me out. I'm like, dog, Sark, what are you doing? He's clearly not, they're not getting open
Yeah,
to do this.
yeah.
They're like these wide receivers are not get
You've
don't
got to
have
make
to
them
put
like
it on,
5 yard. You've got to make them 5 yard routes and not 25 yard routes.
bro.
That's what you got to do because this offensive line is it's just not there yet, right? It's really young. You don't even have the right combination of guys. Forget trying to develop everybody. You don't even know what the right combination is still, right? And I bet you there's going to be an offensive line shuffle this week. I think Nick Brooks is going to start. I don't know where. I think Hayden Connor is going to move into center, right? Because that's where he's the most comfortable. I
Right.
think they moved Connor Show to the right guard side of the role. I mean, this is why I'm Michael Fasusi, as much as I downplayed it last year because I didn't think he would want to play left tackle when he's not going to. This is
Right.
where I think having a Michael Fasusi would have been awesome because then you can bump Brandon Baker down to the guard. You can bump Michael Fasusi to the right tackle, and you still have Gooseby as left tackle, and bada boom, being you're fixed. Bring
Right.
in, Nick. Where's Neta Umeazolu? Like we still haven't seen him play. Like I mean, you're gonna have to figure something out because and I think that's the biggest problem. They haven't improved on the offensive line because what's important on the offensive line? Cohesion.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have cohesion if you don't know the five that you're trying to have cohesion with, and they
Yeah.
still don't know who that is.
Yeah.
So this is your opportunity to build that now. We know this game can change the mindset of an entire season, right? You can win, you can spiral up, you can lose. We all know you're a fraud, you lose the rest of the way, aka 2015 Charlie Strong. Or you spike this into something crazy where you take a win and you rerun with it, aka the Oklahoma game just 2 years ago, where they
Right.
spearheaded that into a 10-win season.
Right.
Right. You can win out. This Texas team could win out, right?
It's gonna be
Like that's
hard, but they
crazy
can
to think about it, but you've got to start here. This is the week to spearhead that confidence, and if they can't do it this week, then they're not going to this year, and this season's a dud. So I think Texas wins.
be at a Holiday Bowl.
Yeah, or if any bowl at that point, right? Like you go 3-3. I don't know what bowl you're going to be in. You might be in the Steve Sarkisian pool party bowl. I don't know, right?
The pimento cheese bowl for all I care.
Something. But I think Texas wins this game 17-14. I think the kicker is going to play a big role in this game on both sides. I think there's one offensive touchdown scored the entire game.
So you're saying the defense is going to get one of those?
I think both defenses are going to play really well because there's both. Oklahoma's defense is actually pretty good, and they have
defenses. Their defensive line
is very good. Yeah, very
Yeah.
good. I underestimate how good that defensive line was. That's a very good defensive line.
right.
And so it's even more reason to get the ball out of Arch's hands quickly this week. So,
Yeah.
All right, Tim. Before we get out of here, where can the people find you?
You can find me at Longhorn Fan Battle. I'm going to be throwing some stuff up there. I threw a little hype video up yesterday. I'll repost it. I'll throw it up on the Twitter on Twitter tomorrow. I threw it up on TikTok. Got a lot of feedback from it. Liked it. Reposted it today on the story just because so many people reacted to it. So, you can find me there. If not, you can also find me at Tim Lane. I've been trying to get more into the Twitterverse. It's just been a lot with the a lot with the political stuff and a lot of the politics and how that's affected family and things like that with the government shutdown. So I've been kind of like, on that. But I would definitely make it a point to get out there and say some stuff. I tried to tweet. I don't tweet as hard as Harish does when it comes to tweeting during a game. I don't know. I'm gonna try to do better. This is a 2:30 kickoff, which is very weird. This is the first time that we've ever had a 2:30 kickoff ever in the history of this game.
We
Okay.
had it last year.
Did we have it last year? Did we have a
Yeah,
two?
last year was the first year I was played in the SEC.
I okay. You're right. You're right about that. It doesn't. It feels weird saying that a kickoff is at 2:30 because usually we start off the day with an 11:30 kickoff, not a 2:30 kickoff.
Correct.
And usually from that point on, we kind of got the day to kind of see what else is going on. That is not the case. I hope in some weird fashion we can go back to that 11:30 kickoff because that's tradition. And so
I don't see it. This is going to be the SEC primetime game every year when they play. I just don't
I
see
don't
it.
know. I don't
It's a
know.
big rivalry, man. It's a big rivalry.
It is a big rivalry. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm really hoping that that defensive line shows up. I don't know what I'm just praying that there's some type of a running game on Saturday. But from that point on, like it's either going to be a all or nothing. This is literally what this is, and I hate that we're talking about this in week 7, but this is where
The
we're at.
reality, man.
This
That
is
is
the
the
reality
reality.
of it.
Yep. You can find me at the Uncle Gandhi. I'd love to see some swing passes this week. I think that can help get the running game. That can be your running and another motion of your running game where running back in shotgun gets a little swing pass. You just throw him a little swing pass. That's your running game. Like
Right.
Sark used to do that when he couldn't generate a true run. He used a little swing pass, or he did it once against Florida last week. Arch just couldn't get the ball there, where he did the little where he'd go one side, and he did this with Quinn all the time, where he would roll over to the right and throw all the way to the left. That's like a screen. That's like a drop back screen, right? Yeah, you're gonna do things like that. But you can find me at the Uncle Gandhi. Find me here with Tim. LH Fan Battle. I'm the one that gets everyone going. If you guys get really angry on Twitter, I don't really care. That's just what I'm here to do. It is a fan battle after all. And yeah, we'll be here next week. Whatever happens, enjoy the game. But between now and then, my name is Harish. This is my boy Tim. We out of here. Peace.
Survival.